Well, I've been gone for a minute or two, and I've been gone because it was taking me so long to get on this particular buck that I had eyeballed as of October 10th. I didn't know he made it from last year. I am familiar with the deer from last year. He was a 3.5-year-old. I'll be honest with you, for what we have around here, I would have shot him if he was, in range. We had 3.5-year-olds here, no 4-year-olds. I took one of the 3.5-year-old. He was an 8, nice 3.5-year-old 8. And then there was this buck, a tall tine buck. And then there was a wide load buck. And he got shot first day of rifle down, I don't know, probably a mile down the tracks. And then I took one, and then it left this tall tine. Well, I didn't see him after Thanksgiving. I never laid eyes on him again, so I was just completely under the assumption that he didn't make it through rifle. Well, October 10th, this deer shows up, and I'm like, who are you? Because you're pretty old. At 4.5 around here is like great-grandpa. And I started going through 2024's pictures and videos, and I confirmed what I kind of thought anyways, was it was that tall tine buck. This year he was back better than ever, had basically the same frame with twice the mass and an extra point on his right main beam. He has, had 4 up on the right side and a brow, of course, but he was just a better buck, and they are at 4. They're just mature. If you know anything about a whitetail deer, their antlers are pretty much maxed out at 5.5, and at 4.5 they're about 90%. Now, you can be the guy that sits around and waits for that extra 10% of growth. I'm not, especially around here. I might, if I had a lease or something like that in Ohio where there's, a third of the pressure statewide, I might, but not around here, not with the neighbors I have for sure. But anyways, this is the kind of the brief story of what happened since the first day of archery. That was the first appearance right then and there. I guess it was 4:42 a.m. Game on. You can see he was a nocturnal buck for the most part. Them older ones are. Until October 27th. Things change quickly. That evening I had the right wind. He was here. I had him at 18 yards. There was a spike about 30 yards behind him, and a lot of different does and stuff like that. But I was full draw. He was straight on to me. I don't take those shots, not with a bow. And I just knew that at 18 yards he was going to turn and give me some sort of a broadside shot. That spike grunted, and he did a complete ass 180, and now his ass end's facing me, and I thought, we got like 10 minutes left of shooting at light, and he walked away, chased that spike away. I let the bow down. He was out of shooting range, and he beat me that night. That was the night of October 27th, the same morning that he just dogged that doe. So that was the 28th. He was still here. He was still day walking, just wasn't coming out to where I could hunt him. You know, he was staying tucked into cover. And then from the 29th through, I would say the next 10, 12 days, he was nocturnal. And there were at least a couple days he wasn't here at all. Like when he would come back, I'd get him on camera at 8:35. I think one night I got a little excited because I caught him an hour after shooting late. It was like 6:30 or something. I thought, wow, maybe he's going to stay. And then he didn't. He was running does, you know, probably within, who knows? I mean, you know, they say, well, the older the bucks get, the tighter their home range and core area gets. I believe the tighter the core area gets, but I don't think the home range changes. They will travel for girls. That's just a bottom line. And a girl is actually what got him killed. And it was November 12th. I wanted to go out and hunt November 11th, but I had no reason to because he wasn't here. And November 12th, everything changed. I had a hot doe. I'm sitting on stand at this point in time watching all this happen on camera. And I'm under my poncho. It's raining. I don't know if you could hear that or not. You can rewind and listen to it. But it's raining a lot harder than the camera even lets you know or indicates. And I'm sitting there, and under normal pretenses, I would not have hunted. I don't like hunting in the rain, but it's crunch time. We're 9 days away from season end. And I got to get on this buck once and for all before the rifle chaos comes. And he's moving naturally, and I got a hot doe. She's heading the wrong way. She's heading toward, there's a public piece there in the neighbor's property, and she's going the wrong way. So I text a buddy of mine at work, and I'm like, I'm screwed, man. She's taking him exactly the wrong way. And he texts me back, well, maybe she'll bring him back to you. That's exactly what she did. That was his final death march. At that point in time, they were about 75 yards out, and she was beelining right for me. And at that, I thought, man, she'd cover every square inch of this property except where I'm at. Well, she was just walking. I don't think she was in standing estrus yet. I think she was within that 12-hour window, 12 to 24-hour window. So if you had to, give it a temperature, I would say she was warm, really warm, not hot, but smelled right enough that he wasn't leaving her. He wasn't leaving her no matter what. And when they were coming in, I had my D-loop hooked, if you know what that is. If you know, you know. And I'm not at full draw or even drawn back at all, but my butt's in position on the seat in the stand. And I'm thinking to myself, I shoot all summer 30 yards. Draw back, snap, draw back, snap. I'm shooting, 1-inch circles at 30 yards. And I'm thinking, I hate to be picky, but I'm hoping he comes in at under 30. And she brought him right by me, and I quick hit a range and lowered the rangefinder, and he was at 32. I was like, I'm just putting my 30-yard pin dead center and gonna let that schwacker eat. And that's exactly what happened. So I, as you can imagine, between 30 and 32, it did hit slightly lower than where I aimed, slightly. And it hit bottom lung, top of heart, and I knew he was done. I've done that to a few deer in my life. They don't make it 50 yards when you even touch the heart. And a double lung big buck like that'll run, 175. I've seen him even go almost 200 yards on a double lung. But once I saw the pumper, I knew he wasn't leaving the field. He made it about 50 yards, did one circle, plopped right over, a couple twitches, that was it. It was like an elephant coming off my back. And through all of this, I was going to bring you guys along, but I know, see, here in Pennsylvania, we just assume everybody else hunts too. But I know there's a lot of states. You go to states and guys don't hunt. So it's not really a hunting channel. This is, there is a hunting piece of the pie on the channel. But so I finally was able to get my hands on the beast. And it's a good year. Now I'm going to get back. We did get some snow today, but not enough to plow. It's like just enough to irritate you, but not enough to make a plowing video. When I get the cubby out and do some pushing, I don't know if we end up getting any more snow. We probably got 3 inches. It's just not enough to plow. I'm thinking maybe if we get another 2 or 3 and get 5 or 6, I can get the cubby out. Regardless of the trolls saying, oh, that cubby ain't pushing nothing. Even though I have videos of it pushing like 14 inches of snow. We're getting back to the basics. We're going to get back to plowing, dealing with winter. And there's some banger auctions coming up too. Thanks for watching. 2025 is in the books.